4-H programs around the country have a long and for many of you very successful history in fundraising through local events, sales, that direct connection to the community. At the state level through grants, corporate supports, and gifts from individuals who know the power that 4-H has on youth. In order to grow and have the flexibility to deliver programs that your kids need in the way you want to deliver them, and be able to better withstand the kind of cuts from other areas like the university, from your state, or from the county, this toolkit was developed to help equip you with the tools to build a stronger and more purposeful fund development program focused on relationships with your new and current donors. Download that section on trends. It's updated on a regular basis, and think about how these trends impact what you're seeing going on at the state level or at your local level. Consider what these trends are telling you to do, how to respond to these trends. What do you need to be doing to chart a successful path? You'll also find some of our recommendations on how to respond to these trends. The session on fund development planning, introduced here and continued through in the managing section, will guide you through how to develop a fund development plan, whether you're working on a statewide strategy or are a county agent looking to develop funding for your own programming. But next, my colleagues Karen and Robert discuss those practices and principles that stay true no matter what the economy looks like.
Trends can come and go, and it's not that people shouldn't pay attention to them. It's just that the fundamentals have to be in place.
Absolutely.
And when I think of the first fundamental that I worry about the most is, what does that portfolio look like? Is it balanced? Is it the right percentage of time and energy and resources spent on individuals, which we know is what drives philanthropy in this country? And then what are we spending with corporations? What are we spending with foundations? How much time are we spending with on government relations, that sort of thing? But besides the kind of big picture stuff, what else, what are the fundamentals that you worry about?
Well, I think one of the most fundamental of the fundamentals, or I would say the most fundamental of the fundamentals in my mind, is engagement. Making sure that your donors have a relationship, or your potential donors have a relationship with your organization, because people believe their own experiences, and we don't want development to just be an oral argument where we're just telling people about the work that we do. We have to let them experience it, because that's how they begin to have ownership, and that's how it becomes their organization, as opposed to just another organization that's doing good work.
Yeah, that engagement has to have that doing component, right? Ask them to
Absolutely.
Do something.
Give your donors something to do. And while you can give donors something to do remotely, I think it's done best face to face.
Yes, and that's the thing that people seem to have trouble with, finding time. We know that getting face-to-face is the most critical way. You have to look people in the eye. You've got to read their body language when they're answering your strategic questions. But I hear development officers say all the time, meetings and all these things get in the way. Make the time. I used to just cross development days off on my calendar. These 2 days this week, these 2 days the next week, I'm getting out the door.
It's a get out the door kind of business where you can't do it well in front of your computer, I would say.
Exactly right. Now, when you think about, I remember when you were a practicing development officer, one of the things you told me that was so critical to you was holding on to every donor.
Yeah.
And that you did that through stewardship.
Yeah, what I've discovered then, and I think over the years, is that most organizations actually are pretty good about getting new donors. They're just really bad at keeping those donors. And so, to me, stewardship is one of the most fundamental things that you can do. You make a promise to your donors that something will be different once they make a gift, and you have to communicate what that difference is. Otherwise, they're not likely to make that investment, not as a punishment to you, but simply because they don't know what happened. They gave money, and they just don't know what good that did, and so they give to other organizations because they'll know, they have a better sense of what actually changed in the world.
That accountability. Too often they think stewardship is just thank you. Yeah. And it's really connecting them back to the impact of their gift.
Yeah, what did my gift do?
Yeah.